Welcome, Mr. Danielsen, Mrs. Pasanen. We would like to ask you a few questions about your role as the leaders of the Doc Film Festival. And I think ladies first.
But I'm not the leader yet.
Yeah, no, but as the new leader, new to the job next year, we would like to ask you to describe the festival in 3 words, what it means to you.
It means excitement, surprise, and food for thought.
Thank you very much. The same question to you.
Different words. Sorry for my voice. That already is an expression of what
words, right?
Of what the festival means to me. For me, it means meetings, Atemlosigkeit. What's that in English? Being without breath.
Yes.
And great films.
Thank you very much. Sounds like you definitely have more stress than Mrs. Pasanen at the moment.
Next time she can just observe everything. And
The last time for the next 5 to 10 years, right?
I'm afraid so.
First of all, could you describe your daily routine as a festival director outside the festival season? What do you do all day?
Depends on the time of the year. The job as a festival director implies, at least in the combination we have here in Leipzig, which means you are the managing director and artistic director. It means you're in charge of raising the financing, of getting the whole thing organized, and getting the whole thing run, and getting good films. So everyday work depends on the time. If there are funding applications to be written, there's a lot of paperwork to be done, to write texts about the program, to plan the program, to work with our colleagues on the budgets, and to try to win sponsors, to talk to people, to present the festival. It's a lot of meetings also with colleagues. When after the festival, we evaluate the festival. We talk to each department, each colleague, what went well, what went bad, what could we improve, how did you feel, how could we help you next year. Then we discuss the program ideas for the next year. Of course, the closer the festival comes, we have many meetings discussing how will we cope with the new technologies which are at place, like the digital playout in the cinemas. How do we plan the website? How can we improve the database? There's a lot of organizational, administrational stuff to be done. And then, as a festival director, if you have time, you travel a lot to go to other festivals, to watch films, to meet colleagues, but also the members of our selection committee have been traveling a lot. And many official dates where I, as the director of Doc Leipzig, am present to say hello, to show that the festival is an important player in the city. So a lot of representation done as well. Meeting with sponsors, with representative of film funds, a lot of lobbying going on, and I could continue.
So a lot to do even if the festival's not on. As an outsider, that's quite hard to imagine. So a lot to do for you next year. But what did your daily routine look like up to now? What made you give that daily routine up, and what made you apply for this job?
Well, I have had a habit of changing my job every 5 years, approximately. And my background is in journalism. I've been working for the Finnish public broadcast on TV. And that, of course, means that you are basically always on duty. For the last 3.5 years, I've been based in Budapest. I'm there actually working as a Finnish diplomat. I'm the cultural attaché and directing a Finnish cultural institute. And in a way, it is a little bit like running a festival because you are dealing with art and culture, you are dealing with academic exchange, you are really sort of trying to read your own country and understand what are the new innovations, what are the new up-and-coming talents that you would like to present to your host country. So it's keeping your eyes and ears open, sort of trying to understand how to engage people, how to find new platforms, new ways to work together and create something that is even bigger. And for me, it's very much the same. There's the creative part and there is the administration. So you have to create the content that people would enjoy and want to come and participate, and you have to find the money for it.
So you have had a lot to do with culture up to now.
Yeah.
And moving from Finland to Hungary has probably been a cultural difference, and now you're coming to Germany.
And I was in Denmark for 3 years.
Okay, so another country with a different culture. What qualities are you going to bring from Finland, and how are you planning on managing the German organization mania?
Being a Finn, it will be interesting. It will be interesting. You know, when Finland joined the EU, we were really, really popular because in our language, we don't have the concept of small talk. We go directly into business. We don't know, you know, how to talk about the weather like you Germans do, or, you know, we sort of, you know, for many people, we seem quite unpolite because we go directly into business. But actually, it saves a lot of time. And then we are sort of very modest. We don't have a lot of protocol. So I'm sort of hoping that I'm not going to offend a lot of people by, you know, being very direct and sort of speaking on first name basis. We'll see how it goes, but it is something that is part of my culture. But I don't think that, you know, I do think that the city and the selection committee, they in many ways they did a very brave decision of hiring somebody who is not German for the very first time in the, you know, almost 60 years of the history of the festival. But I don't think that it really matters where he or she is coming from. I think that the point is to have outsiders' point of view of something that is so heavily and so dear and important to the city and to the region and to the country. So I think that will be my duty, sort of see what's going on and see, you know, how the international guest and international audience will see it. But I must say that Claas Danielsen has been doing an excellent job. Really, I have to say that the way how the whole festival has been developing for the last 10 years, it's incredible. And it has become one of the festivals in Europe. And my job, I think, is really just to keep it updated, because we are in a business that changes constantly. And to be able to keep up with that change takes a lot of energy. And I can only imagine what it has meant to Claas, really always sort of try to understand what's going on and how will that impact on filmmaking, whether it's the creative part or the financial part. And now it's sort of my turn to start running.
You said you want to bring an international view maybe to the festival.
I think it is international. Of course, it's international already. So we will see what it means that when there is a sort of an outsider coming to see how it works. I think it probably will first more influence on certain things. I have always believed that, you know, you have a certain window wherever you go. For the first 1 or 2 years, you are capable of seeing what could be done in a different way. And this is the window that you have to use, because all of us, we then sort of get, you know, we sort of learn the habit and we start repeating things like they've always been done. So you have this moment of saying, hey, why do you do it that way and not that way? And that's where you need an outsider. It doesn't necessarily have to be an international or, you know, from another country, but I think that this is something important to any festival or to any job in general.
From what you...
He's nodding, so he agrees.
Absolutely.
From what you said just now, it sounded a bit like you just want to maintain the festival as it is. Are there any things you want to focus on and maybe change? Anything special?
Well, first I need to move in here, settle down, meet the team, really get a good understanding where we are at before starting changing anything. I wouldn't want the team to learn from television what I'm going to change before I haven't even started.
You spoke about the team. Are you planning on learning German?
Well, actually 20 years ago I was quite fluent in German, but then ever since it's been either Finnish or Swedish or English or some other language that I've been using, so it got really, really rusty. So the basics are there. I can actually quite well understand and read German, and I have a very nice teacher from the Goethe Institute who is giving me a hard time 3 times a week, so hopefully by next spring, let's say spring, I will be able to speak to you in German.
Mrs. Pasanen spoke about getting a new view maybe. Is that maybe one of the reasons why you decided to stop being the director, to open the window for a new view?
Absolutely. For both sides. On the one hand, for me privately, also after 10 years of very intensive work, it's good to go through a change also for the personal development. And I think also for the festival it's important because, like you said, that after some time you do things in a specific way and everybody got used to that. And the system itself, because the festival and the team, that's also a system, develop some resistance to change and so on. And that's why somebody with a fresh perspective will again be able to change this. And a film festival which has to redefine itself every year, not only with the films you look for and program every year, but also with the changes going on in the industry and the changes going on in the world. It is very important to always stay in touch with what's happening and to have a good understanding of what, under which conditions the people in the industry, the filmmakers, producers, broadcasters and so on work, and how to adapt it.
We don't have much time left, so a few final questions. As Leena is going to move to Leipzig, have you got a recommendation what she should definitely do here in Leipzig on her free day?
Enjoy the great cultural offers in the city and take a swim in the Kosbrunner See. With the horse. I'm not sure if horses are allowed to swim in the sea, in the lake. Enjoy the people. The Leipzig people are very friendly, open-minded, wonderful. Yes, people. I felt welcome straight away, and I'm sure she will do the same.
And maybe from you, I expect Claas probably has quite a bit of free time now. Hopefully. Maybe a recommendation what he should do in his free time?
I think you should go to the cinema and watch documentary films without any pressure whatsoever. Just enjoying the beauty and importance of them without thinking, should this be suitable for this or that competition or slot? I think this is something that you will enjoy. And I'm a stronger believer of sort of very productive idleness, because if you are not lazy every now and then, if you don't go and lie on the sofa and just think, you are not sort of recharging your batteries or getting any new ideas. So don't fill your calendar too tightly. Just, take your time.
Maybe the final questions to you. If you could give your 20-year-old self a tip.
My 20-year-old
your 20-year-old self,
like
me, like most of us, what would it be?
I need a moment to think about that. I would say explore the world, don't be fearful, grasp your opportunities and enjoy life.
Okay, thank you. And the final question to you, also about your 20-year-old self. When you were 20, where did you think you would be now?
Oh, yeah. I was very middle-aged when I was 20. You know, I was very old at the age of 20. At the age of 22, I had my first permanent job as a journalist. So I thought that would be my career. And I was so relieved to notice that life is always surprising you. There's always another surprise for yourself. And I think Leipzig is my new surprise in life, and I'm going to enjoy it thoroughly.
That's wonderful to hear. Thank you very much to both of you for being here. I believe you have to leave now. It was very interesting speaking to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you all.